So that's when I realized that being busy and putting in a lot of hours is not the same thing as being productive. And there's that story. Have you heard the one about the big rocks?
I have, but I don't think our listeners have. So maybe this is a good one to share with the listeners.
Well, I think it's from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's from that book. There's a story they tell in the book, which is a great book, by the way. But there was a teacher that had an aquarium tank in front of the class, and he took these big rocks and stuck them in the aquarium, and he asked everybody in the classroom, is this tank full now? And everybody's like, yeah, you just filled it up with the big rocks, it's done. And he's like, okay. So then he grabbed some smaller pebbles, and he poured those on top, and they all fell through the cracks and filled it up some more. Now it's looking really full. Again, ask the same question. Everybody thinks it's full. Yeah, all right, I get it. It's done. Then he goes and he grabs some sand, pours that on top, fills it in even more between all the cracks and fills it up. Is it full now? Now people are starting to get the picture. Probably not. And then he pours some water on top of that, and it fills it up even more. Now, what would happen if he did this backwards? What if he took the water and the sand and stuff and put it in first, and then you put those big rocks in?
They wouldn't fit.
They wouldn't fit. Everything would start pouring out. And that's really just an analogy for your day and your priorities and the really busyness and productivity. So you really need to think, what are your big rocks, what are your big priorities? What are the big needle movers in your life? Whatever it is you're working on, what are the big things that will make the biggest impact or the biggest change for you? And those are the things that, for us, we work on first thing in the morning. It's the uninterrupted time. It's when the phones are off. It's when the doors are shut. We don't have meetings. We don't have calls. We don't do podcasts. It's everybody focusing on their big rocks in the morning, undisturbed for a few hours. And for someone else, it could be health goals. It could be other things where what's the most important thing in your life you're working on? You've got to prioritize that first thing.
Yeah, it could be relationship. You know, if your marriage is in shambles right now and you can't seem to see eye to eye with your wife, like, don't go throughout your week, you know, getting up, going to work, you know, high-fiving each other as you walk through, you know, leaving the house, and then think that you're going to fix a relationship Friday or Saturday night on date night. No, the big rock in your life right now is the relationship. So have the conversation, communicate with your wife. Hey, maybe we need to spend time together in the morning. Maybe we have breakfast together. You know, if it's a fitness thing, you know, like big rock is getting my weight down. You know, don't go all throughout your day and then think, yeah, I'm going to get to the gym at 6 o'clock if you've never been consistently at the gym at 6 o'clock. No, get up, get your gym done before you go to work.
Right.
Like,
and if you put the big priorities first, you actually can have time for everything you're doing. But you can't do it backwards. By the end of the day, afternoon time, that's when we do our busy work stuff.
Yeah.
It's replying to emails, meetings, phone calls, all that stuff. And that's later in the day. If you came in and started checking Facebook and reading stories on Google and stuff and doing all this busy work, you think you're going to want to like write a few chapters in your book in the afternoon? Like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just procrastinating. Everybody procrastinates everything. So Craig talks about frogs. If you've got 2 giant frogs and you have to eat it by the end of the day, like, when should you eat it?
Eat the frog.
Just eat it
in the morning,
do it right away. Get it done.
That's Brian Tracy's book,
Yeah.
Eat the Frog. I mean, that's the principle. Like, that is an entire book called Eat the Frog. It's like, do the most difficult thing first in the morning. So if you're out there, you know, you're kind of this guy that we've been talking to, you know, you're maybe working in the corporate gig, or you're maybe thinking like, you know, I'm ready for something more. Like, don't think that, you know, at the end of a workday all this is going to happen. Get up first thing in the morning.